What he has actually done is quite impressive. If you're a Fox Corporation investor, you're pretty happy with Lachlan Murdoch's tenure as chief executive. In particular, he invested in a free ad-supported streaming service called Tubi.
Hi Paddy. Lachlan Murdoch has effectively paid $5 billion to guarantee ongoing control of what is essentially a legacy media empire. Why did he do it?
There's a loan-funded component of this. So Lachlan Murdoch is presumably borrowing so that he can buy out some of the shares held by his three siblings, but a good chunk of them also are being offered to the public. And so the kind of roll of the dice here by Lachlan Murdoch is that the combined family, Murdoch family stake will be allowed to drop from just over 40% to, in Fox's case, 36%, and in News Corporation's case, 31%. So it's a substantial drop in the family holding of the voting shares of both Fox and News Corporation. And his bet is that that will still be enough to enable him to control the business.
Why is it important for both Rupert and Lachlan that Lachlan be in control?
It's been funny reflecting on this all day. You know, it's 1997 that Rupert Murdoch came out and said Lachlan Murdoch was the first among equals. He has, I think, seen Lachlan Murdoch as the natural logical successor for most of his career. But Lachlan walked out of the empire in 2005 and only returned in 2013, 14 to any kind of role at that time in Fox Corporation. And although he stayed on the board of News Corp throughout. So I think it's certainly been clear right up as Lachlan took over as CEO of Fox Corporation in 2019 after the sale to Disney. And then when Rupert stepped down and relinquished his last executive role at both Fox and News at the end of 2023. It's been clear for a long time that Rupert Murdoch wanted Lachlan to succeed him. And the reason he does is because I think they have come to share an increasingly conservative view of the world. And certainly they are both committed to maintaining the conservative editorial line at especially the most powerful of their outlets, Fox News, on issues like Trump and democracy, on issues like climate change, on issues like race and immigration. They have decided that it is key to the commercial success of their media assets that they maintain this commercial line, because their view is the rest of the media skews to the left and they're providing a necessary corrective. And that's a kind of central tenet of Rupert Murdoch certainly through the latter half of his career.
The settlement comes at a time of incredible digital disruption and media transformation. What has Lachlan, as executive chairman of both Fox and News Corporations, already done to try to modernise the businesses? If we start with Fox Corp first.
Well, what Lachlan has done, without overstating it, because bear in mind he took over Fox after the bulk of the movie studios and the entertainment business had been sold off to Disney. So what he was left with was a rump business focused on live news and sport. But what he has done with Fox News and Fox Sport, our cable channel, but what he has actually done is quite impressive. If you're a Fox Corporation investor, you're pretty happy with Lachlan Murdoch's tenure as chief executive. In particular, he invested in a free ad-supported streaming service called Tubi, which is a small player here, but it's very significant. It's racing up the total viewing time charts in the United States because it's free. And so what that has meant is that as other television businesses have chased the Netflixes of the world and spent billions of dollars on programming and lost a lot of that, that they haven't been able to recoup through subscriptions. Lachlan at Fox has kind of manoeuvred Fox so that it's not reliant, it hasn't wasted billions in the streaming wars, and it's got a ad-supported service which is racing up the charts, and that has been quite a successful strategy. He's also invested in things like sports betting, which could pay off in a big way as the gambling industry deregulates in the United States. And of course he's concentrated on the key, live news and sport businesses that give Fox its dominant position in cable. I mean, the ratings of Fox News are extraordinary.
News corporations, Australian papers, including The Australian and the Daily Telegraph, have been struggling for profitability. Is there perhaps a silver lining for them with Lachlan now the confirmed heir?
Well, I think so, in that Lachlan Murdoch is the most attached to Australia for a start. He spent a good chunk of his life here, and for the last few years has been commuting back and forth from Australia and to the United States, which is pretty extraordinary. He does have a commitment to Australia. But he also is the only one of Rupert Murdoch's children that's taken much interest in the newspaper business ever. So he, earned his stripes working in Holt Street and up in Queensland when he first came to Australia in the 90s. And he has made a great, he does profess a great love for newspapers. And so I think that will give, the Australian newspaper business some comfort that he will be, he won't be lightly shutting down the printing presses, for example. But also, Lachlan has, in his career, made one really critical investment, buying a controlling stake in realestate.com.au back in the wake of the tech wreck at the beginning of the noughties. And at that time, he bought it for a song. Sometimes, depending on the share price on the day, realestate.com.au and its other businesses that it owns overseas are worth more than News Corp. It's an extraordinarily profitable business, partly because Australia prices, real estate ads a particular way, vendor financed, and we pay way over the odds compared to other countries for our real estate listings. But for whatever reason, that has been an enduring, successful business, and it has helped prop up the legacy media operations of News Corp, certainly in Australia.
Speaking of legacy, Rupert Murdoch is now 94 and no doubt considering his. How will this chapter of the company and family's history be looked back upon?
I think this unfortunate family dispute will tarnish Rupert Murdoch's legacy to an extent. We don't know. I mean, I don't have any inside word on Rupert Murdoch's health. He's 94 years old. He's a world historical figure who has had an extraordinary career starting in Australia, and his mother lived to 103. He may well outlive her, but as things stand today, his immediate family has been broken over the succession question, split asunder by an attempt by Rupert and Lachlan to disenfranchise the three elder siblings, Prue, Liz and James. And as of last year, they were at, swords drawn legally in a Nevada courtroom. And it is hard to see how, those divisions will heal quickly. It is quite possible that now that the succession question is finally resolved once and for all, the Rupert Murdoch and his kids might have a more normal relationship, and perhaps we'll see some signs of that. I don't expect that we're going to see a continuation of the kind of public and private acrimony that we've seen over the last few years, because I expect that a condition of this deal will be an end to the leaking war and an end to the public bitter feuding.
Paddy Manning, really interesting to speak to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Kirsten.